So what we have tonight is kind of a trifecta. We have a possibility of a sunset, a moon passover, and a freighter going by all at the same time right here behind me at the Blue Water Bridge. So tonight we have an incredible coincidence of events that's going to be happening. We are looking south on the St. Clair River. We are right at the point where Lake Huron becomes the St. Clair River. Behind me is the Blue Water Bridge, the international bridge that connects Port Huron, Michigan to Sarnia, Canada, a very favored local landmark. To the west of me, the sun is setting right now, so we hope to capture some golden reflections on the clouds and on the bridge tonight. And what makes this even better is right about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, we're going to have a freighter coming right up the river, heading right up in to Lake Huron. Oh, and that's not all. Right about the same time, the moon, which right now is barely visible, right about here in the sky, is going to be traveling to the west, and it's going to travel right over top of the Blue Water Bridge. We're going to try to capture all of these things together in a time lapse tonight. So this is our setup. It's pretty simple. I got my Fuji X-E3 set up with a kit lens, 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I've got my aperture set to f8. I really like those middle apertures, kind of the sweet spot. It's where I feel the lenses are the sharpest. And then I have my shutter speed set up right now to a 15th of a second. We're going to decide in a little bit if that's where I really need to be. We're going to do 1 second intervals for this for our time-lapse exposure. And we're going to try to again capture the moon up in the sky, the freighter coming through, the sunset colors in the sky and over the bridge. Well, here you can see me tracking the freighter coming up the river. This is a little bit ago, and hopefully it'll be passing through before it gets too dark. And then also I want to show you the augmented reality in Photopills, how the moon is going to traverse over the sky. And you can see what's going to be happening and at what time. It's going to be dead center of the bridge right about 9 p.m. tonight. So we're going to be out kind of late. So this was kind of a spur of the moment setup where I happened to see all these things were happening. So I didn't have time to grab myself a cup of good coffee, or better yet, a dram of a fine scotch. Well, it's 8:25 p.m. and the sun is starting to set. We're not really getting the colors out of the sky I was hoping for tonight. I believe it's a little too overcast, but we are getting some nice reflections off the water from some of the local lights, so we're going to be working on capturing some of that as well. Just about to start the shutter. Again, we're going to be doing 1 second exposure intervals. I've got this set now to half a second. So we're going to have quite a bit of motion blur going on, but it should be pretty nice. Then we continue to capture some of the lights and some of the imagery as it continues to get darker and darker this evening. Well, it's pretty cool on my end here, watching that moon go in and out of the cloud cover. Hopefully it's looking pretty sweet on the time lapse as well. I actually ended up stopping that time lapse because it was getting too dark. I boosted the ISO up to 1600 so that we could keep the same interval and shutter speed going and f-stop in order to capture some detail. It just got too dark. So this is one of the most fun nighttime shoots I've ever had. Just sitting in anticipation, waiting for this freighter to go by. Man, I hope this turns out and works well, but I'm having a blast. Well, forgive me on the shaky video and the grainy appearance, but the freighter there is just starting to make itself shown. You can see the white lights right about in the middle of the frame. So now you can see in real time how slow this thing actually moves. But they are big. This is not slow motion footage. This is actual speed.